for my birdie. He's got to go in some water. There were 3 days. You need 3 days at least for a 15-pound turkey that's frozen to thaw it out in your bottom of your fridge. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill my sink now with some cold water to finish up my thawing process. It's today's 22nd. It's time to. It's 3 days before Christmas. Can you believe it? What a year! Good God, what a year! I'm usually more excited than this, and I want to be happy. I want to be excited. Something's always screwing up. I don't know what it is. Everyone's going through it. This is crazy. So I'm making my compound butter, and it's going to be thyme. I'm going to have rosemary in there. I'm going to have thyme in there. I'm going to have some fresh parsley. About a tablespoon of garlic. You might think that's a lot, but this is a 13.5-pound turkey, which is small, but it's only 2 people, and we don't eat the dark meat. The dark meat for me at this point is to flavor the breast meat. So a tablespoon is not too bad. I'm also going to finely mince some onion and celery. That's all going to go into the butter. And then I'm just going to make it, smush it all down, but I'm going to take it out and put it onto a sheet of wax paper and try to roll it into like a log shape. And then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to harden back up again. You see, this is softened. You can use butter, you can use margarine, it doesn't matter, because you're going to add salt and pepper to it as well. And if you put it back in the fridge in the shape of whether you can try to get that shape again, or like a little round log, then you can slice it down, because you want to put it between the skin and the meat. So you want to carefully separate without tearing the skin, and sticking it up underneath, and throwing a couple pieces inside the cavity as well. And then you can use some of it even to put on, just smear on the outside of it. But the trick is really getting it between the skin and the meat. That's how you get a juicy turkey. So every year, I challenge myself to making a good compound butter. Every year. And I always use an oven bag. Now we gotta go looking for different ones, because these are only large. This is a 13.5-pound. But this one, the large, only holds 8 pounds. He won't fit. Dang it. Ugh. This is the stuff that screws you up. You gotta keep stopping and running out, stopping, running out. So that's what I'm gonna do right now, is I'm gonna make this compound butter, and I'll show you what it looks like. And then I'm gonna roll it up, put it in the fridge, but I'm gonna cut all my veggies that are gonna go inside that bird. So when it cooks, they act as aromatics, they act as flavoring, and they help keep the turkey juicy. So first things first is making the compound butter to make that puppy nice and juicy. All right, next step. Okay, so I've mixed up my compound butter, and basically what I have in here, a lot of recipes, this is what I usually do. I use about 3 softened sticks. Again, you use butter or margarine. In my case, I use margarine. But either one, it's gonna still do the same thing. Then I use about a tablespoon of finely chopped thyme. Same with rosemary, about a tablespoon. Rosemary is highly fragrant. I'm gonna put some inside the bird, so I only use probably a half a teaspoon, and then of the rosemary, and a little bit more of the thyme. And then it calls for about 5 garlic cloves, or if you use stuff like this on me, I love garlic. I love the flavor it makes. I use about 1.5 teaspoons to 2. Like I always throw extra in there. That's me. Another thing you can do is several tablespoons of very finely chopped onion, and even some finely chopped celery, which I do have in there. Now, because it's a turkey, the celery is adequate for that, because it will actually add a lot of flavor. But if you're going to make this compound butter to use for other meats, such as any type of beef, like steak or hamburgers, you might not want celery on those. So you can opt to take that out. But the onion definitely will flavor up a steak or hamburger or chicken. You know, you might not want the celery, but that's an optional avenue to go. Also in here, I've added probably about, you can eye it up. This is strictly just making flavor. Pepper, you can add a little salt if you want, but I did add pepper in here as well. You can eye it up. You just kind of guess that one out. You can add, because you're going to add some salt and pepper on the bird anyway. So that is what it looks like right now. Now next it's going to be my wax paper, and I'm going to put it out onto the wax paper and then going to roll it into a ball and put it in the fridge. And it'll be, once it's cold and that's fully thawed, yeah, fully defrosted, which it almost is, it will be ready to be sliced down and put inside between the skin and the meat, as well inside the cavity, and then any leftover I'm gonna slather this puppy up too, and then a lot of salt and pepper on it generously too. All right, so let me get this rolled out onto the wax paper. Next step. Got my compound butter all done and onto the wax paper, and I kind of just like gonna do the rolling thing here to make it more of a, and it's almost like a Jewish pickle wrapped up, doesn't it? What I'm gonna do is put it in the refrigerator. You can put them in the freezer, especially if you do a lot of like cooking on your grill, like steaks and all that kind of stuff. Having some type of compound butter to pop on there is perfect. Like pre-making this and just putting it in your freezer, then you can put it down into the refrigerator and just slice it down to put on top of each burger or your steaks or your fish or whatever. But you might not want the celery that I put in there, but again, because I'm doing poultry, we use a lot of celery for poultry for flavoring. So now this goes into the fridge, and because I gotta go run out again, I start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. And it's hard with Steve's back since he has the herniated disc, and we just, it's only the two of us, so it's just a pain in the ass. But these are large size oven bags, and I always use an oven bag because it keeps the juices and the steam inside the bag and keeps your bird really, really juicy. But these are large, and I need extra large. So now I gotta I think I'm gonna call a couple stores because the streets are chaotic. Oh, it's a pain in the butt. So I think I'm gonna call a couple stores, see if anybody has them before I go driving store to store to store through all the traffic, because it's gonna be a pain. But what I can do is with a big baggie till I get out the door, and it's 2 o'clock. I know the roads are gonna be chaotic. I may wait till tomorrow morning, early morning, to go do this. Steve has to see his orthopedist early in the morning, which isn't far from a couple grocery stores. And I think we're gonna try to hit those stores first to try to find that, plus a couple other little things. Of course, you know how right now everybody's like, darn it, I need one more thing, I need one more thing. So we're gonna go early. Hopefully we can avoid a little of the chaos that's out there on the streets. So this is going in the fridge, and now I'm gonna chop down things that I'm gonna put inside the bird itself. I'm gonna just get them all cut down, and you know what, they're gonna be perfectly fine. I'm gonna have them in one of the big gallon-sized baggies. Okay, might have to use a couple of those because this puppy's, it's not just gonna be stuffed inside. When I get the normal size bags, I'm gonna roll that bag down, line the whole thing with chopped onion, chopped carrots, chopped celery. So it'll be, the turkey itself will be sitting on a bed of all these veggies, along with, you know, some herbs, and you can even throw some chicken stock in there if you want. But so I'm not cutting any corners, like there's gonna be veggies everywhere. So pre-cutting them, so I love prepping for this. There's a lot of things you got to make for Christmas dinner when you're doing the full, it's like Thanksgiving dinner. There's a lot to do. So I'm going to pre-cut these down, put them in baggies, then go right into the fridge. And tomorrow is my big day. Like tomorrow, like I probably will be shutting the phone off because I have a lot. Tomorrow and Christmas Eve, like I are my days. Like I don't like to be disturbed in a sense of, I get all excited. Unless you're calling to tell me what you're doing and we can talk on the phone while I'm preparing and you're preparing or doing whatever, maybe you're wrapping presents. I just like to, I'm trying to get myself into the zone. This year has been a challenge for everyone. But, all right, so on to the next step, which is basically the next step. Then it's, you know, getting all my veggies cut up, and I'm gonna put them in baggies and they'll be perfectly fine. These are gonna be the ones that go in the turkey and what underneath the turkey they sit on inside the oven bag in its pan. This got to go into the fridge first, which is the compound butter. And you'll see what this looks like once I cut it down. Right now, it's a little too soft, has to harden up. And again, it can go in the freezer. You leave it in there for quite a while. Take it out as you need it. But this is going to go in the, I'm going to put it in the fridge. And then tomorrow, I'll just cut it down. And so right now, next step is cutting all these down and getting them into baggies. So when I'm ready to, when I've washed and dried this puppy, I can start stuffing the cavity up with all these veggies. They'll already be cut. And again, lining my oven bag with all the chopped veggies. Set them on top of it. Boom. Add some compound butter to the outside when I'm finished. You'll see. All right, next step. Let me get to cutting. These are cut. These will be used for inside the bird. I've also got some I got some thyme in here, some rosemary, some parsley. I'm gonna put some. I have a couple little mini garlic cloves, but I'm gonna add a little bit more of this tomorrow. These are what are going inside the bird. After I'll put them in there, and then my compound butter, once I've sliced it down, that'll be between the skin and the meat. And I'm also gonna throw compound butter inside with this, inside the cavity. So right now, these are done, and I've even got some extra onion cut here. They're fine. I'm gonna zip them up. These are gonna go in the fridge. If I need more veggies, I got plenty. I got onion, I got carrots, I got celery, plenty of my herbs. Now he has to go in, finish thawing out in a big cold bath. Just gotta clean out my sink a little bit, and I'm taking a needed break. My compound butter is nice and cold, so I thought, well, what the heck, I'm gonna slice it. I actually froze it for a little bit. But isn't it pretty? I love how the colors are. And no matter what you're making, I mean, you can add anything to this. This would be great for like a steak or roast or fish or something. Oh, you can add anything you want. You can look up compound butters for any type of meat or poultry or fish, and you can find some good ones. But this is just for my bird. And he's swimming. Yeah, he's swimming. I've changed the water at least once now, but and I got a surprise. Woohoo! I got turkey fast. Actually, Steve took a break and he was resting a little bit, and he surprised me. He went out and he got turkey back. He actually brought home a whole bunch of them. He couldn't find a turkey baster though. That's okay, because when you use these, you really don't need to use a turkey baster, but I think he's still going to try to get one tomorrow when we go to his orthopedic doctor to see them. And hopefully, I think he needs another epidural. The first one doesn't seem to be doing very much, but anyway, I'm slicing down the rest of the compound butter, and I'm going to put it on the plate. Tomorrow it's going to be ready because he'll be thawed out, and all my veggies will be going in, and I'll be putting this compound butter inside, just between the skin and the meat. I'll be putting some inside the cavity with the veggies, and then of course then the leftovers I'll put on top. Isn't it nice? Every year I challenge myself with the compound butter. And you don't have to roll it, that's not necessary. It just makes it a little easier because I can actually put this in the freezer once I'm done cutting it. And it can make it a little easier to stick up underneath the skin. It's really preference. I mean, your hands are going to get icky. Just take your rings off. Be prepared to have buttery fingers. But, you know, it just makes it a little easier. You can freeze it or just refrigerate it. So I'm going to slice the rest of this down. Hi, Joe. Yeah, I hear you. Joey. But, hi. Yeah, he wanted to be in the video. Going to slice the rest down, and I don't have anything. It's butter. Hi. I don't have anything that you want, buddy. I'm gonna slice the rest down, put it in the fridge. I'm gonna cover it up, put it in the fridge, and it'll be ready for tomorrow. I am tired, and I still gotta get dinner done. Almost done. But yeah, look up compound butter, because you might, whatever it is you're making, I mean, not everybody does this, but you can really flavor up whatever it is you're eating. Big time. All right, so I'm gonna finish it up.